Hi everyone, it's Langel here from Langel Designs, and today we're back with another tutorial where I'm going to show you how to do the herringbone fingerless gloves. So now if you take a look at these, when I put it on, this is the adult size. It has a nice long cuff on it, a decorative band with a button, and it leaves your fingers and your thumb easily accessible. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could perhaps make a little flap to go over these to cover your fingers, but that would be a completely different tutorial, I believe. So anyway, we're going to look today at the herringbone fingerless gloves. So they're super warm and super cozy. Now the pattern, which I will post a free PDF for it online on the website, it comes in child, teen / adult, and large adult if you want to make it, say, for a man, and you just, I would say for the men's, you wouldn't put the buttons on them. Just to make it a little more gender neutral. And it'd be up to you as well. If for yourself you would prefer not to have the band on them, you wouldn't have that, that's added on afterwards, so you could easily leave that off in a minute. So for this, you're going to need some worsted weight yarn. Now, to make one pair of the adult size, it took me about a full ball of the Craftsmart value, or the loops and threads, which is what they've rebranded to. It took about 1 skein, which, and this is a, I believe it's a 7 ounce. Where is it here? Yeah, 7 ounce ball. So it takes roughly a ball or a skein. And I have 2 1-inch buttons. And of course your scissors and your yarn needle. And again, 5.0 millimeter US H for 8 hook. Now, I will say, like for things like blankets and stuff like that, gauge isn't a massive issue. It helps, but just so you can calculate how much yarn you're going to need, but it's not a big deal breaker if you're a bit off with the gauge. For something like this where it's something that's going to be worn, you kind of want to double check it if you think you might not be crocheting to the correct tension. I did a test pattern. It gives a gauge that if you're doing just half double crochets, that 14 stitches and 12 rows is 4 inches, in like a square 4 inches. For something like this, it doesn't hurt to do a quick little sample, and then you can always rip it out, and because if for some reason you need to adjust your hook size, it's better to find out before you get everything made and then something doesn't fit. Okay, so I ended up, when I did my test, what it called for was the 5.0 millimeter hook, and I was pretty much bang on. I was off by just not enough to worry about adjusting my hook size. Okay, I just had to be a little more conscious of not trying to go as snug, if that makes sense. So for today, for the tutorial, I'm going to be doing the teen / adult size, which gives you a palm circumference around here of 7 to 7.75, with a finished size about 7 inches around the palm and 7 inches in length. Okay, so it should give you, this is the teen / adult. All right, so it should give you something like that. Now I'm going to show you walk you through how to do one of them. Now what you'll notice is there's 2 that look like they're essentially, until you go to put this part on, the band with the button, they're identical. You're going to make 2 the same, and then it's just going to be that when you go to sew the button and the band on, you're going to make sure that you've got them opposing, so that when your thumbs go in, the button's facing out on each side, so that you have a set. Okay, so let's get right into it. Oh, first, getting ahead of myself here. One of the abbreviations you're going to see is HBHDC, which is herringbone half double crochet, and I have in the PDF the description of what that stitch is. Okay, which is you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into your stitch being worked, yarn over and pull your loop through, which gives you your 3 loops on your hook as normal, but you're not going to finish the half double crochet the way you normally do. When you're pulling your loop through that you've just like yarned over, you're going to immediately pull it through the first stitch that's on the hook, so it leaves 2 stitches and then pull through the both loops that are on the hook. And I'll show you when we get to that point. Okay, so we're going to make our slip knot, and we're going to put that on our hook, or however you like to attach your yarn. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the wind outside. It's really windy today. We're going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So this part is going to be working the band or the cuff. Okay, so it's kind of different in the fact that you're going to be working the cuff, kind of going around, and then once you get it to the length it requires, you're going to slip stitch the seam, and then you're going to start working in the round going this way. So we've got our chain of 15. What we're going to do is single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So the chain on your hook does not count. So 1, 2. We're going to put a single crochet in there. And I will put a link to the tutorials for any pertaining videos in the description box as well. We're going to single crochet all the way across. This is our basically a foundation kind of row. So a single crochet is just, for those who may still be new, is put your hook in, yarn over and pull through. So you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the both loops on your hook. We're going to work our way across here. Whoops. Oh, come on. I find my starting rows, until I really get something to hold on to, that happens to me a fair bit. So don't panic if it happens to you. It happens to the best of us. You just got to kind of take your time until you get a little bit of project worked so that you have something to more securely hold on to. All right, so in our last one here. So now we should have 14 going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. We do. Now, you are going to work the next from row, that was row 2. So for row 3 to 22, you're going to basically be doing the same thing, which is this. You're going to chain 1, turn your work. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch, okay? But from now on, you are going to be working in the back loops only. So when you're looking at a stitch, there's 2 loops per stitch. If I put my hook in there, you can see there's like a front loop and a back loop. We are going to be making the ribbed cuff, so we want to be working in the back loops only, okay, which is going to give us that texture. So we're going to just go into the back loop and single crochet in each of the back loops across. And by doing the back loops only over and over again on each row, it gives you that ribbed pattern, and it's kind of stretchy. I just realized you can see I got my pattern here so I can see what I'm doing. You can see it in the corner there. I've made quite a few of these pairs of fingerless gloves, and I still have to refer to the pattern just so I can make sure. So now when you get to the end, it's kind of sometimes hard to see, but there is one tucked down in there that you're going to get your hook down in, yarn over, and single crochet. So that's row 3. So now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to do the back loops only and single crochet again. And this is often how I make the ribbing for hats and sweaters and a lot of projects that you need the ribbing for. Once you get used to it, it does go fairly quickly. Now, again, you have to kind of sometimes, that end one can sometimes be hidden in the turning, and you have to kind of dig for it. So it's important every now and then to go back and be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Important to just counter stitches every now and then to make sure you're still on track. So we'll chain one. Yep, I know what I'm doing here. All right, then we're going to single crochet in the back loops only, all the way across again. So this is going to be row 4 for us. And you'll work your way across doing your stitches. I reach the end, got to kind of dig for that last one. There we go. So that was row 4. So you can kind of see 1, 2, 3, 4, because it kind of like starts to form like hills and valleys, but you can 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was row 4 for us. So now what I want you to do is put me on pause, and I'm going to finish up till I get to row 22, and I'll show you how to move on to the next step. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I've done my 22 rows of the back loop only, so you can kind of tell it makes like a bit of a wiggly shape. So each wiggly shape is made up of 2 rows. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. I've got 22 rows there. Now it says when you've reached the end of row 22, what you're going to do, and I weaved in my tail from the beginning, you are going to fold it over, and you're going to join the cuff together with slip stitches through the back loops of row 22 and the corresponding loop at the beginning chain. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, then you're going to go in through your back loop from your row 22, and then you're going to find your starting loop here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep, just making sure I had the right one. And we are going to slip stitch through all of those. We're going to go to the next back loop, and then we're going to go to the loop from the starting chain and slip stitch. And this is what we're going to do all the way across. So in through the back loop, in through the starting chain, back loop, and we're just going to keep working our way across until we get to the end. And that starting chain one can be a little snug, so don't panic, because you've already used the back loop of it, so you're using up the other loop, which can be kind of tight. Oop. And again, when you're at the end, sometimes you have to kind of wiggle it in to get that loop. And then we're going to go, and that joins and makes your cuff. So now the body of the glove, so we did our cuff working back and forth and then joining it, but our body of our glove is going to be worked in the round. We're going to do it in a spiral. We're not going to be joining. So what I suggest you do is find a piece of yarn, just kind of a contrasting color. I'm going to take a red one just so I can kind of mark where the start of my rows are. Okay, so I can keep track. And it even says in the pattern to use a marker to track your rounds. So This will be round one of the body. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to chain one, and it wants us to single crochet in the end of the first row. All right, so we're going to put a single crochet right there. Now, you're going to be putting 22 around, okay? So basically at the end of every row, you're going to be putting a half or a herringbone half double crochet in the end of each row, okay? So what that means is you're going to yarn over. You're going to take a look. So this will be end of a row here. You're going to go in here, yarn over, pull up a loop, take that same loop and pull it immediately through so that you only have two, yarn over and pull through both. That's one. So again, yarn over. We're going to go into the next one, yarn over, pull up, and pull that loop immediately through the first loop on your hook, yarn over and pull through two. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn split, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, whoop, 20, 21, 22. Now, we are not joining, okay? What you're going to do is take your marker out, and for row 2, you're going to herringbone half double crochet in the next 10, okay? So when you're taking a look at your stitches, if you start counting around 1, let me just pull that a second. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And that would be 23. So this does not count. That's your chain 1. This is why I was trying to show you that. So when we go to start, we're going to be going into here, okay? That's just your chain to get going when we started the row. So we're gonna just kind of move our marker here. And now we're going to do a herringbone half double, I keep wanting to say herringbone half double crochet in the end, in the first 10, okay? So again, we're not joining, we're just moving right on. We're going to go in a spiral. So we're going to yarn over. We don't want that one. We're starting here. We're going to yarn over, pull through our first loop immediately, and then yarn over and pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to put 2 herringbone half double crochet in the next stitch, okay? So 1, and then right back in the exact same spot, we're going to put a second one. Oop. 2. We're going to repeat that across, so we're going to do the next 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to put 2 in the last one here. 1, 2. So that finishes row 5, okay? So we're going to take our stitch marker, move that up. Now for round 3, it wants us to make 2 in the first stitch. So again, we're not joining, we're just going right into the next one. So we're going to yarn over, put our hook through, yarn over, pull up our loop. And I always kind of hold it because it makes it a little more stable than pull our loop through our first and then do both. And we're going to put another one in there. And then you're going to finish just doing the herringbone half double crochet in each one until you get back around to the beginning. All right. It goes pretty quickly once you get used to it. You just have to remember it's kind of a multi-motion, like you're yarning over, put your hook in, yarn over, pull your loop through, immediately through the first loop on your hook so that you end up with 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Once you get the motion down, it's not bad, okay? So we're going to keep going around here. And it gives a nice little design, and it's a very warm stitch. It keeps a lot of the warm air in. There's not many gaps. It's a tight texture. All right, we're getting around to the end here. I know I'm going a little quicker. Just the same stitch over and over again. So here we come to the end. So that's round 3. Okay, so for round 4, you're doing essentially, for round 4, 5, and 6, you're going to do exactly pretty much what you did this last one, where you're going to put 2 herringbone half double crochets in the first stitch, and then a herringbone half double crochet in each one around. That way you're going to be increasing your stitch count by 1 for each row that you're doing. So if you want to put me on pause, I'm going to do around 4, 5, and 6, and I'll meet you back here for round 7. Right back. Okay, so I just finished round 6. So for round 7, you're just going to simply have herringbone half double crochet in each stitch around. So move your stitch marker up, and you're just going to do 1 in each. Okay, and then once we finish this row around, we're going to make the thumb opening. So I'm going to just keep going around here, just since it's just the one round. It won't take us long to get around to the other side. If you do have any questions or comments, I'll just say this now. Please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And the link for the PDFs will be posted on the website. And sometimes you have to scroll down to find what you're looking for. And the PDF downloadable is on the left-hand side of the video you'll see on the website. Not on YouTube itself, but at the WordPress site that has been set up for the patterns and stuff. And if you're still having problems finding the pattern, just put a comment, and if I can, I will put the direct link in a reply to you if it helps you out to find it easier. But when I post the links and stuff, I do go back and I get somebody to just double check them to make sure they work, that it's not just working on mine. And sometimes I think it depends on what browser you're using. If you have a pop-up blocker on, I noticed one person had sent me a message. It was somebody I knew, and she said, oh, I had to turn off my pop-up blocker for whatever reason. So if you're not getting, you might be seeing the thing to click on, but if it's not working, just double check that, okay? All right, so there's our round 7 done. Now, we're gonna create the thumb opening in this round. So this is round 8. We're going to move our marker up. This is where it comes in handy to have a different color marker. We're going to herringbone half double crochet in the first 11, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then what you're going to do is chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to skip 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the next one, we're going to do our herringbone half double crochet. So 1, and then it says we're also going to do that in the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that finishes round 8, and it starts our thumb opening. So now what you're going to do for round 9 is we're going to move our marker up, and we're going to herringbone half double crochet into each stitch around, and I'll show you what's going to happen when you get to that chain 3. Whoop. So 3, 4, 9. So that's the 11 that we had done until we got to our chain 3. So now we see our chain 3. So what you're going to do is in here is you're going to put 3 herringbone half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then to finish a round, you're going to just keep putting in the next 10, or sorry, it should be 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. And the next 11. And that'll get us back to the beginning. I was thinking 10 just the way it was worded before, but then I forgot it also initially has 1 after you finish your chain, and then it adds on another 10, so it's the 11. So we're going to get back to the beginning here. And I'll talk about what we're going to do next. All right, so that finishes round 9. So now for round 10, you're just going to do the herringbone half double crochet in each stitch around, okay? So do that and meet me back here in a second. Okay, welcome back. So we just finished round 10. So now we're going to do a decrease row, okay? So we're going to move our marker up, and it says we're going to start off immediately with a herringbone half double crochet decrease. So here's how you're going to do that. You're going to yarn over, put your hook into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through your first loop so that you have your 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through your first loop so you end up with 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all loops to finish that herringbone half double crochet decrease. Now we're going to just do plain old herringbone half double crochets around to the beginning. So we just did 1 decrease at the start of the round, and the rest are just straightforward stitches of the herringbone half double crochet. We're going to just keep on going. And then when we get to the end of this round, we're just going to, for round 12, we're just going to do another straight row of herringbone half double crochet around. So I'm going to finish off round 11 and round 12 and round 13, okay? And then at the end of round 13, I'll meet you back here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished round 13. So we're going to move our stitch marker up. And for round 14, we're going to just loosely slip stitch in each stitch around. Okay, so we're going to go in and just slip stitch, and try not to pull the slip stitch too tight, because then if you do, it'll kind of pull your work together, and try to cinch it shut a little bit. So when I'm doing mine, I'm going in, yarning over, pulling up just a little bit before I pull through my loop on my hook, just so I'm not having too tight a tension. And this is the last row of this part, and then we're going to move on to the thumb, and then we just have the band to do. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And like, I kind of classify this as a bit easy / beginner, because it's a very repetitive pattern. All right, we're going to take our stitch marker out. I got my scissors. I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to just go back in and finish off the slip stitch. And that's the only time you were going to join that. So I'm going to weave in my end towards the inside so it kind of gets hidden, because you don't want your ends showing through on the outside. And I just go back and forth a few different places so that it's good and secure and it's not going to come out loose, okay? And then we'll trim that off. Now, so as you can see, this is what you have so far. Looks good. So now for the thumb opening, let me just move this stuff out of the way here so it doesn't get knocked around. It wants you to join in any stitch along the thumb opening. So we're going to make a nice decent sized tail and put our yarn on our hook with the slip knot. Then I'm going to tuck my tail down in the hole just so it's out of the way, and then I'll weave that in on the inside when I'm done. Okay, so we're going to join any stitch along the thumb opening. So I'm going to choose this one. There we go. So we're going to chain 1 and evenly place 13 herringbone half double crochets around the opening. So chain 1, and then we're going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the easier ones because those are the ones that you skipped when you made the thumb opening. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then what you're going to do for that was round 1. Okay, we're going to slip stitch to join to the first one. Okay, then we're going to chain 1. We're going to herringbone half double crochet, decrease the first 2 stitches. So we're going to start to do our herringbone half double crochet, but we're stopping at the 2 loops, going into the next one, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through all 3. Then we're going to herringbone half double crochet in the next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do a decrease, so yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over, pull up right through the first loop, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull right through the first loop, then yarn over, pull through all 3. We're going to decrease, and then we're going to do the next, just a herringbone half double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to slip stitch to the first one. Then for round 3, we're just going to slip stitch around loosely like we did at the top of the other one. So we're going to chain 1 and then just loosely slip stitch. So the thumb is pretty quick because you're not doing the full thumb, right? You're just doing enough to kind of cover your thumb a little bit. You're not closing it in, you're not, oops. And you'll notice I didn't use a stitch marker on this one because we weren't working in a spiral. We were joining at the end of every round, so we can kind of see where we're at. So I know right now I'm at the end here, and I'm just gonna pull my yarn through, cut it, and leave a long tail, fasten off. I'm just gonna tuck this in here for now. Pull that to the inside if I can get a hold of it. There we go. All right. So we'll be weaving all those ends in when we go. All right, so that's the thumb part. So now for the button band. I'm gonna set that aside for a second. You're going to attach your yarn. Now I'm leaving a longer tail, and I'll show you why when I'm done. I'm leaving probably a good 6 inches. I'm going to attach my yarn to my hook. I'm going to chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now, we're going to do a herringbone half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So again, the one on your hook doesn't count. So 1, 2, sometimes it's hard to hold on to do this, so have your fingers work the best they can. Then what you're going to do in each chain to the end, all right? So we're going to go back in with a herringbone half double crochet, this is a little slower going here because it's hard to hold on to. But once you figure out where to put your fingers and how to hold on to the project, it's not too bad. All right, we're coming up towards the end here, just a couple more, and then I'll explain what we have to do, because we're going to be working around the back side of this as well. All right, so we're at the end here. We have one left, all right? So in the last chain, you're going to put 6 herringbone half double crochets, because you're basically going to make it curve around to the other side. So here we go. It's going to be tight. 1, all in the same space. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, I know your instinct is to try to tuck this tail in under your work so that you can have it hidden. Don't. We're going to use that to attach that end of it to the glove. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to keep working on the opposite side of this chain until we get back to the beginning, okay? So we're going to put the herringbone half double crochets in each of the other sides of the stitches of our starting chain. And this is what's making our band. We're getting there. All right. So at the end of this one, you're not going to put in the 6. You're just going to reach to the end, so it's almost going to be square, and we're going to cut off our yarn, leave a long tail, and we're going to fasten that off and secure it. So now we have a rounded end and a flat end. So I'm going to take one of my buttons and get my smaller, I need to use a smaller needle so that it'll fit through my buttonholes. And I just got these buttons off Amazon. It was like a pack of 50 for like next to nothing. So what you're going to do is your thumb, when your thumb's on the inside, you're going to have your rounded part of your band. You want the rounded part with the button on the outside of your wrist. So this is how this one would be attached, okay? So what I like to do is take my my yarn, and this needle is small, so it's tight to get through the, there we go. And I will attach this part as best I can. To the glove. And then I will secure it. Pull that through to the other side. I'm going to leave a bit of a tail attached so that I can weave it in on the inside. Now for this one, we're going to put our yarn on our needle. And I'm going to just kind of move my yarn over a little bit because I'm going to put my button on before I secure the band. Because the button's just decoration, the button isn't functional. So I'm just going to quickly attach the button to the band. Okay, there we go. Just makes it easier so you're not fighting with the band. Then I'm going to attach the band to the glove. I have to kind of get my hand in there so I'm not sewing through the two layers of the glove. My needle came off. 1 second. All right, so now I'm going to just secure this with a knot and pull it through to the other side and leave the tail and everything so I can weave that in when I'm all done. But we'll just tuck everything up in there for now. So as you can see, there we have our fingerless glove with a nice button band. Super cozy. So you would turn around and make your other one, make the exact same one, but when you go to do the button band, have your thumb facing in and then put your band on so that the flat part is on the inside here and your button and rounded parts on the outside there, just like these ones here. Okay, so this was like the one we just made there. Then you'll turn around and have it so that the thumbs are on the inside of this for your right hand and with your button on the outside. All right, so that is the fingerless, herringbone fingerless gloves. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And this is probably the last, potentially last video before the holiday season. So if you celebrate it, I hope you enjoy yourself and have lots of time with friends and family. Please be safe and enjoy yourselves and each other, and arrive wherever you're going very carefully and look out for one another. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and happy crocheting.